All right. So, first thing we're supposed to discuss today is our thoughts on that role play video. Did you guys get to watch that?
Yeah.
Did you see it, Vivian? Oh no, not again. Okay, well, what were your thoughts, Emily?
I thought it was good. I think for me, just like the way he came and talked to him was like, I don't know, pretty obvious, like not to be so like confrontational, but I don't think that's obvious for everyone. So it's important that it's like taught in this class. But, like, obviously, if you're going to come up to someone and be super confrontational as their manager, then they're going to be confrontational back and feel like they have to like fight for their job or fight for why they're right. But the second when he did it, like asking how he was and just like a lot more calm and like nice about it, I think he still got the point across.
Yeah.
Way.
Interesting too, though, because sometimes, if depending on the person, confrontation, like they're able to handle it better. So if you do handle it in that way, and you're a little bit more stern with them, then like they're okay with it. Obviously, that's not like the ideal way, but some people can handle it a little bit better, and they do need a little bit more sternness, or else they're not going to do anything.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true. I just thought it was interesting, like, I don't know, when I initially hear the word discipline, I feel like I automatically think of that first scenario. But like in your mind, I feel like if you were ever in that situation, I don't think you would necessarily resort to that initially. At least I don't think I would. But it's just interesting to like learn about it and learn those different sides of it. And it's just interesting to me that like it's such a simple thing, but yet it's still something that we have to learn because it is still a problem and it could happen without us even realizing that it's happening. Because I don't know, I feel like in the first scenario, he was like, he was pretty stern and he was very upfront. But when I was initially watching it, I didn't really think of it as like a really bad way of going about it until you saw the second point of view where it just like it came around so much better. But like the way he was talking, it was just making me think like if I ever got in trouble, like I feel like my boss would probably talk to me like that, depending on which job I was working at the time. Like, I don't know. Rambling.
No, I agree with you. I don't know. I think it's like expected for them to be stern, but like you can be stern and like, I don't know, a good manager and have a good way of talking, like, and still be stern.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Definitely.
if you have a good relationship to begin with, and then you're stern, people know where you're coming from. They don't think that you're just being like the rude boss. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you have that good relationship to base it off of, they're a little bit more likely to accept that criticism too.
That's true. Yeah. I just like that in that video and even in that human resources video, I don't know if you guys have watched it yet, that Sister Greenwood recorded. She talked about how it's just important to like get to know your employees. And she had that example of there was a guy that kept coming late and she just went up to him and was like, hey, let's go get some lunch and just chat for a little bit. And she started just getting to know him and his life and what he was going through to try and get to the bottom of why he was late. And he ended up having a son that got arrested for like some severe charges and was in jail. And he had to be late sometimes because of like legal issues he was dealing with. And so I think it's kind of cool to think about the perspective of like getting to know your employees, just because then it kind of puts things into perspective of why they act the way they do or why they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And it just kind of will naturally be a lot less harsh on your end, I think.
Yeah. And I think your employee will like do more and like realize that you actually care about them. So I think they'll work harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the only challenge though, I was just thinking about this today, is like, but in the big corporations, how can you really get to know all of your employees though? But I guess maybe that's where like the line comes down. You get to know your managers and they get to know the employees beneath them. And like if everybody's getting to know who they're over, then it should work, but it just seems kind of
Yeah.
difficult.
That's what I think. I think that's part of the reason that they have those branches and those diagrams is just to like say, okay, you're over this section, and this is the person you talk to, and this is the person you talk to, and you talk to this person. Just so then, like, you stay within this cluster, and then the manager over here is not trying to like discipline you. You're supposed to be in this section, and like, I don't know. It just makes it easier to get to know people. So, yeah, I mean, it would work in that situation if people followed that diagram, like you said. But besides that, it would be really hard. All right. Anything else on that video?
I
Okay.
think we're good, yeah.
So next, we're supposed to conduct a role play, and we have to choose a scenario. So let me pull it up real quick.
Are we just doing one of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys have them up, or do you want me to just screen share it real quick?
I have it up.
Okay. So you just read it then. So scenario 1, a citizen calls into the city manager's office and states that an employee of the city is at home during work hours. What do you do? After finding out the employee was home during work hours, role play the meeting you have with him. So that's the first one. Second option, as part of Sweeps Week, a local news television crew covertly films an employee sleeping on the job at one of the local parks. Role play the meeting you have with her. Scenario 3, an employee arrives at the designated workstation seemingly confused and unaware of what is going on around him. A subsequent alcohol test demonstrates that the employee is under the influence at work. Role play the meeting you have with him. And then the last one, an employee continually comes to work late and leaves early. Role play the meeting you have with her. So which one do you guys want to do?
I'm fine with any of them, honestly.
Maybe 4, because it would be the most likely. I feel like most of them are kind of extreme, but that one's kind of like an everyday one.
Okay. So we can just rotate around who's who, I guess. Who wants to be the employee first?
I can do it.
Okay. I can start out as the manager or whatever first, and then we'll just rotate.
Okay.
Okay. So Emily, I see that you're late again, or no, never mind. Don't do that one. That's how the first bad one started. Emily, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Good. How's life been?
It's been a little busy and like stressful, but it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I've noticed a couple of times you've been late and heading out early. Is there like something going on that I should be aware of, or what's going on?
Yeah, I just have a lot of like homework I have to get done for school and like projects and meetings I have to go to. So I've just been leaving work a little early to get to them.
Okay. Well, maybe we should schedule a time to get together and we can discuss your school schedule, and maybe we can adjust your hours just so that we know when you're going to be here and when you're leaving. Then it'd be easier for both of us. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. Awesome.
Cool.
Okay. Vivian, do you want to be the manager, and then Emily, you could be Emily, you want to be the manager, and then Vivian, you could be the employee.
Oh, we're doing the same one, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to pick a different one, you can, but you can do the same one.
Good. How are you doing, Vivian?
I'm good.
Pretty good. Anything new going on, or how's your life going?
It's going. It's always crazy, but always will be.
Well, that's good. I've noticed just lately that you've been a little bit late to work in the mornings. Is there a reason behind that, or?
I'm just trying to make sure I get everything done, and sometimes I don't even realize what time it is because I'll do stuff in the mornings and then not have enough time, and then just be like, oh, I need to run out the door. Oh, sorry.
Well, maybe there's another time we can sit down and talk about your work schedule and stuff, but it's just really important that we're all here when work starts so we can get everything done and meet as a team and make sure that we're all on the same page. And if you're not here, then we can't really do that. So we just need to work on being on time as a whole team.
Okay.
Well, does that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think we're done.
All right, good job.
Thanks.
Okay, Vivian, you want to be the manager, and I'll be the employee.
Sure. Ellen, how are you doing today?
All right, doing okay.
Yeah. What have you been up to lately?
Just lots of school, trying to get through this last semester and get out of here.
Yeah. How's your husband doing?
He's good. He's busy all the time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes.
Well, I just wanted to talk to you, see how you're doing. I've noticed that you've been late a couple times and leaving early, and I was just wondering how things were going, if there's anything that we can do to help you. It's just important that you're here, and we just want to see what's going on.
Yeah, I just need to be better because I have tons of homework and like I said, my husband's really busy, and so when he's home, I like to be home, and so I'm trying to fit everything in, but it's not really working. But I have to make it work somehow.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can sit down and we can discuss if there's anything we can do, maybe make your hours a little more flexible or maybe we can meet next week. Would that work for you?
That sounds good.
All right. Awesome. Well, we're glad you're here and we're glad you're working for us. So have a good day.
Thank you.
Good job.
Right. Good job, guys. All right.
Yay.
So anything on that?
I think we
Anything
did a
learned?
good job.
Yeah. All right. Next item of discussion. Our personality assessment. Did you guys both take them? Well, yeah, Emily, I know you took yours.
Yeah.
Vivian, did you take yours? Is it? Where's Grace? Okay. So I feel like the results were kind of weird. It called me an INFJ. Was yours the same, or how did yours?
Mine said ENFJ.
Okay. Okay, so it's a little different then. I was like, that means nothing.
Yeah, I'm going into explaining it a little bit more, but yeah.
Yeah, the description helped. What was your result, Vivian?
Time, but I've done it before. And like an E something FJ. I do remember the last part was FJ.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So, first question, we have to apply it to our personality assessment. So, what motivates you guys intrinsically and extrinsically? Mine.
I think it's like more extrinsically, but like based on like the little quiz we took, it said like my main goal and like my focus is like on other people rather than myself and like helping others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine was similar. Mine was like quick to understand people, and although they may not express their insights, they deeply care about their friends. Best friend. Okay, so that's talking about me. So yeah, same thing. Like, even though it's not like easily expressed, motivated by your friendships and like making other people happy.
Yeah.
But intrinsically, it just talks about inner focus usually goes on ease. I don't know, like studying. It says a lot of people that get my description end up going to university and becoming like some sort of a teacher or something. And so
Wait,
that could be a motivation. I was INFJ.
Okay. And Emily was ENFJ?
Yeah. Mine said careers are like religious professions, healthcare, psychology, writing, fine arts, and teaching, and counseling. So.
All right. Next question. Well, Vivian, did you like do you know what yours would be?
Yeah, so I'm ENFJ too.
Okay.
Tell me.
What does the E stand for?
Extroversion.
Okay.
Extroverted.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Very
it says extroversion on here, which I don't know why. But yeah.
Yeah, mine says introversion.
Okay.
You guys like people more than me.
Not always, but on the whole, yeah.
Okay. I have too many tabs up. Where did they go? Okay. Next one. What are some of your strengths and weaknesses based off of your results?
Some of the strengths, it just said that I'm like sympathetic towards others. I'm like a good listener, compassionate and trustworthy friend. Just overall, like caring for others is a big strength, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mine is very similar. These are like pretty much the same. But yeah, same thing, like deeply care about people, want what's best for them, like to have groups of friends who appreciate inner depth and a desire to help others. So like being with people who are similar to that mindset.
Yeah. It also said that people that are ENF are excellent communicators, especially in a public forum, and make superb professional speakers, which like, I don't know. I don't love public speaking that much, so I'm like, I feel like that's not true for all of them, but
it's true. Well, I don't love public speaking, but I'm really good at faking it. So people are always like, "Oh, you look so confident." It could be that too.
That. I took like public speaking here at BYU Idaho, and it was like a pretty easy class, but like I think if I'm really prepared and really knowledgeable in what I'm speaking about, I'm totally fine. But that's not usually the case, I feel like. But
yeah. I guess that would be one of my weaknesses since I'm an introvert person. Like public speaking, and I don't know, because our descriptions sound like pretty much the same. it doesn't say much about being an introvert.
Yeah. I think it was
Yeah,
interesting. I don't know if you guys have had like Sister Greenwood, because in our 371 class at the beginning, we talked about being an introvert and an extrovert. And she's like, I'm an introvert, but she's like, that doesn't mean like I can't talk and like have like good communication with other people and like good public speaking. She's like, I do it every day. But for her, it just means that like she takes a second to like process information and like thinks about it a little bit longer before like responding to people.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's better. Yeah, because like I can communicate with people pretty well. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of public speaking, but I think that's a very special person who's a
Yeah.
fan of that.
There's like a
But
lot of people think of introverts as like people that don't talk to anyone. They're like super, super shy and like, I don't know.
yeah,
It's not
which I think I am a lot of times. It takes a while for me to warm up, but I do warm up and I get to that point.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the difference. Anything else on that?
No.
Okay. Next question. What would be some effective ways of using this information to help your employees? If you had this information about your employees, how could you use it to help them?
I think I would just want to see everyone what their personality type is and then what that means, like read the description of it, and then just use that in the way I speak with them and like give directions and stuff and like, I don't know.
we did something really interesting at work once where we took like the 5 love languages and did it and applied all the questions to like a work setting so that we all knew each other's love languages like in work. So like I would rather have praise at work, or I would rather have somebody like come by and bring me a reward for doing well, or like, you know, different things like that. And so it was really interesting to kind of see how that played out into the workplace and how you could treat different employees differently. The hard thing is just remembering what everybody is because they're so different. But if you can just even understand all the different personality types, then you can kind of see what people are just by working with them.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I feel like if you knew what everyone's personality type was, it would probably help you approach them in different types of ways. Like Vivian, at the beginning when you were talking about how some people, like when they're being disciplined, they need that stern, like this is what's wrong and you need to fix it or else it's not going to happen. And I feel like if you know people's personalities and like what works for them and what doesn't, and having this kind of information, things like that would be easier and you would know who you need to be a little bit more sensitive towards and who needs to be told up front and who needs something not candy coated and who kind of does, so you don't like hurt their feelings and make them run away, kind of a thing.
Yeah. What's cool though too is like you don't even necessarily have to have like a specific test for them. Most of the time as people we can kind of tell who the more sensitive ones are, and we can tell who like does not respond well under stress, or like we can tell those things. And so you don't even necessarily have to have the personality test, but you do need to be aware of all of your employees and what their needs are.
That's true. And that can be done just by getting to know them. Like you said, you don't necessarily need an actual documented test, but by taking the time to get to know your employees and your coworkers, that's something that you can hopefully figure out. Some people are a little more difficult to figure out, I think, but for the most part, that can be a huge help. All right, anything on that question? Anything else? Okay. Next one, how would it help your employees to know this information about you?
I think it would help. It helped with Sister Greenwood because like when you first go into her office, a lot of times I'll come like unexpectedly sometimes and like ask a question, and she has to finish what she's doing before she can talk to you. And I've noticed that like after she explained it at the beginning of the semester, like I've come in there a few times and she's just like, oh, hold on 1 second, has to like take a few minutes to finish an email or whatever she's doing. and then she has like complete attention on you. But like for people that wouldn't know or didn't know that, or like if it's not previously explained, someone could take that as like, oh, I'm not a priority, or like she's not paying attention, or like, I don't know. But she really is paying attention because she's taking time to finish one thought and then give you all her attention. So it's not like half and half.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she put that in her podcast too, which is kind of, it's cool. Like, because I know I've talked to bosses sometimes. Like, I used to work at a gym, and it was a very informal type of a situation. And my boss would, like, be telling us something or just, like, being frustrated about something and venting to us. But at the same time, he's, like, texting or he's walking as he's talking and he's walking facing forward and not looking at you while he's talking and you can't hear him. And so I guess it's important to, like, know people's personalities just so that you don't get offended by the things that they do, or you know when your boss is not being attentive to you because you know how they should be when they are attentive.
Yeah.
Vivian, do you have anything on that one?
Pretty much just what you guys have already said. Like, it's useful to understand how they work and what. It's just as important as them getting to know you as you getting to know your manager. And that way, if you do need things, kind of going back to like what Sister Greenwood said a couple lessons ago, like if you need to ask for more training, like you feel comfortable doing that, or like different things like that too, so you can approach them with things that you need or ideas you have with a company too, because employees are usually a little bit more involved in things, and so they see things that managers don't.
That's very true. Yeah, that's a good point. All right. Anything else on that question? Okay, last question for personality assessments is how does it help you as a manager to know this information about yourself?
I think it helps you know the areas you may need to work on, where your weaknesses are, so you can be a better manager.
Yeah. I feel like for me, I liked taking this assessment and I completely agree with my results and the description that it gives. And I think it just kind of helps to know this stuff because it validates to me that I know who I am and like I'm not pretending to be something that I'm not, and I'm all synchronized and like I don't know, because sometimes I feel like at least when I was growing up, I would think, oh, I want to be this when I grow up. I want to be this because I like this. And then as I've gotten older, I realized I don't actually like any of those things. And so I think taking something like this assessment, it just for me, it's validating to know, like, I know who I am. This is exactly how I am. And then, like you said, it can help you with your weaknesses and improving those and whatnot.
And I think not everything. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think everything, not certain things are perceived as weaknesses, and when really they're not. That's just the type of person you are, and we're all different and have our own strengths and weaknesses. Because honestly, before Sister Greenwood like explained it further in class this semester, I thought introvert was like a completely different thing than it actually is, and I thought of it more as a weakness, and it's not at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. And I think that one of the reasons that we like to know our personalities and we like to know who we are is because we want to know how to interact with others. That's the main reason, like, we really take a lot of personality tests and stuff most of the times, because we already know who we are most of the time. But like you said, it's nice to have it validated. But then once it is validated, what you're going to do with that information is generally you're going to say, you're going to like either compare it to others, or you're going to like see how you interact with others, because you're like, this person's like that and I'm like this, so what can we do to make that work, because it's not working right now. Or because you see the similarities and then you see the differences too.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely helps with figuring out how best to work with employees. And I feel like too it would be helpful to like know the types of employees that you want on a team and the types of people that you want to hire based off of like compatibility with their personalities. And it would help you have a nice balance, I think, instead of having all of these, what's the word? Just like flamboyant personalities all in one group, like that would not work. Like you need a good mixture. And so it's helpful to know what works best with what.
Get all the different thinking hats.
Yes, all of the colors. All right, anything else on that?
No.
All right, I am just going to stop the recording and then we can talk about our WPO.